Hey guys, I'm Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com, and we're at Winter NAMM 2014 talking to Jamie at the Cole Clark booth, and we've got Lloyd on guitar. Jamie, you have several cool new guitars. What's the one we're looking at here?
Yeah, what we're looking at here is the Triumph 2. The Triumph was a limited edition guitar we ran of only 50 units about 3 years ago that we just consistently get emails and requests from people about. Obviously, there were far more than 50 people who wanted it, but we can't change a limited run to more. So we've made a Triumph 2 where we've changed some features about it aesthetically, but really as far as the function of the guitar is concerned, it's the same thing. So we have a bunya top on this. As you know, we use Australian native woods typically. So a bunya top with a Queensland maple back and sides.
For those, I mean, you guys have been using bunya forever, but again, for those to whom it's new, describe or compare it to what they'd be used to, like give them a point of reference, other type of wood that they would know.
Sure, yeah. A bunya is a conifer tree that grows in Australia. Conifer is what spruce and cedar are, a somewhat soft tree that's hard enough to work with. The thing is, it grows much faster, which is why you see these wide growth rings on it, okay? And it grows faster, but also comes out stronger. So Sitka spruce takes upwards of 200 years to get the size we need for a guitar top. That's why it has very small lines in it. Bunya takes 60 to 70. So, and it grows on plantation in Australia, which is where we get our wood from. So there's no deforestation happening here. Happens to produce a tasty little nut that they eat sometimes also.
Oh, nice. Okay, so what is different about this from the first version, and what's the same?
Right. So what is the same is the sound of the guitar, because it's the same wood combination with bunya and Queensland maple. Queensland maple, by the way, is really not what we think of as maple in North America. It's really much closer to a mahogany. It's an open grain.
It's not like super bright, sounding like an all maple guitar or anything.
Not at all. It's actually very warm and big in the bottom end. As I said, it's much closer to mahogany, although it's still not exactly what we think of as mahogany. And in the fretboard on this one is an Indian rosewood fretboard, but it has Tasmanian blackwood inlays. Tasmanian blackwood is another tree native to Australia and Tasmania. It's an acacia species like koa. Okay, you can't call it koa unless it's grown in the Polynesian Islands. We grow it somewhere else, like Australia or in Africa, and we call it blackwood. You'll see the headstock.
Like the exact same species, even, or?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, we know as guitar players, if you take a spruce tree and grow it in the Swiss Alps versus evolution. Growing it in the USA, they come out very similar but slightly different, right? And so again, with blackwood versus acacia, they're very similar, a slight variation in it. That's a blackwood headstock on it there also, if you want to know what blackwood looks like a little more as far as the open grain is concerned in the coloring.
Now the inlays are also unique in that the center dot is not like glued in there like on most necks. It's actually the channels for the blackwood were carved around that, like there's a post coming up and then you fit it over it like a puzzle piece, right?
That's right, yeah. The all the rosewood there is from one piece, and we cut around the dots and cut out slots with the blackwood, and the blackwood has the holes and it already kind of fits in like a little piece of Lego there. So
let's take a look at the back and then at the electronics. Is that cool?
Sure, it's great. So on the back here is Queensland maple, nicely figured, 3-piece, lined with a rosewood just for the separation there and the binding.
Is there anything new about the electronics or the pickup?
Yeah, now we're running our 3-way pickup system in all of our 2 and 3 series. This system here is really something that's extremely special. It basically runs like a 3-way speaker system where we've recognized that we can separate pickups in the same way you would separate speakers or microphones, that some pickups handle the low frequencies, some handle the mids, some handle the highs better than others. And so the 3-way pickup system here is a very big key for Cole Clark. Matter of fact, I had you guys put a microphone in front of our speaker here, which you thought was a little weird, because we don't view Cole Clark acoustic guitars as simply an acoustic guitar. This is about live performers. This guitar brings a whole new level to live acoustic performance because we amplify the entire guitar. Every other guitar that I've ever heard in the marketplace amplifies portions of the acoustic guitar. But I ask you, what part of your acoustic guitar is not important? So we amplify all of it.
Well, at the beginning, we heard the amplified version. Can we turn the volume off and I'll mic it so we can get just a more studio-like. Obviously, this isn't like some nice condenser. It's an SM58, but still. And then we can hear it through that again.
And now with the microphone on the...
Yeah, so here's with the pickup on.
That all the subtle nuances of his playing, everything, if we listen, is going to come through the headstock. Every aspect of your playing comes through. I can tell you, as an acoustic performer, it's those little tiny bits that always frustrate me that I don't hear in most pickup systems. And
A lot of nuance, yeah.
And that's where Cole Clark excels. If you want to be an acoustic performer on the stage, is the people that we're building this guitar really for, is to get that real acoustic performance coming through those big speakers. That's why guys like Jack Johnson and Xavier Rudd are using them in front of 30,000 people and getting a real acoustic tone.
All right, now, this is the Triumph 2 or the Talisman 2?
This is the Triumph 2. The primary difference between the two of them is the tone woods being used. So this was the Queensland maple back and sides. The Talisman has a Tasmanian blackwood back and sides on it.
So are these limited editions now too, or is it kind of permanently part of the line?
Yeah, no, we've made this a permanent addition to the line.
Right.
We learned the first time that people love this guitar too much to limit the production on that particular model.
What are the prices?
These guitars here will street somewhere right around the $2,800 to $3,000 mark, somewhere in that range.
Okay. Now you guys are also excited about a Redwood top guitar over here. Let's grab that. Okay, so what's this one called, Jamie?
This is an FL3 AC, a standard model for us. But with Cole Clark, you can interchange your woods for certain options. We can use Queensland maple back and sides, Tasmanian blackwood back and sides. For an upcharge, you can get Indian rosewood on this one, or you can interchange the top as well. So in this particular case, the reason we're showing this one is a very special wood. So we have Redwood here, which is typically found in California, Oregon, here in the United States. Is a protected tree. Most of it's actually on, in national parks and such at this point in time.
Muir Woods, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And however, what we found out is that someone at some point in time took some redwood to Australia, and it is being grown in a small portion of Queensland there. This is actually a 100-year-old tree that is an area where we can actually access some of the wood here.
So tell us a little more about the top again, Jamie.
Yeah, so this is redwood that's being grown in Victoria, Australia. So it's as you can see, it's a bit of a different grain than what we would see here. In Australia, the climate there seems to allow for trees to grow faster all year round. They have a longer growth cycle. So really beautiful looking redwood. It's quite exciting to be able to find redwood somewhere where we can still access it responsibly, but still be able to get a small amount of it for guitar tops. It's a really wonderful sounding wood, quite warm. With our three-way pickup system that we have, you really do hear the difference in each wood. So if Lloyd could hit this for a second here, you'll hear how different it sounds than the Triumph did with the exact same pickup system, essentially.
Sort of got a different mid-range happening, huh?
Absolutely, and much smoother and warmer on the top end, So
Cool.
We're quite excited about this one.
Nice. All right. We have one more story about underwater chainsaws we got to get to, so we want to grab the other guitar with the special wood.
Absolutely.
All right, Jamie, last guitar we're going to look at right now has a pretty cool story about the top wood and the chainsaws.
Yeah, so this is from our FL3 series. The 3 series, as you can see, has a lot more adornments to it. Abalone inlays in the waist here, in the fretboard, and the high contrasting headstock fascia are really distinctive features that we love. This is sort of our top series. And so we found some really special wood for this guitar that's grown in Tasmania called Huon. And this...
Not human. H-U-O-N.
That's right, H-U-O-N, not human. So this top is actually somewhere between 3,500 to 4,000 years old. This tree was was literally alive when they were building the pyramids in Giza.
Now, before you conservationists out there start getting upset, tell the story about where you guys got this.
Absolutely. No.
What are you doing cutting down 3,000-year-old trees?
Yeah. We put a piece of the pyramid in the tuners. Yeah, no, nothing like that. Okay. So no, there's a section in Tasmania where that was flooded. I think there was a dam put in, and all this area was flooded in. And so back in the 1970s, these trees were covered in water. And so at that point in time, it killed the trees, although they're still firmly rooted in the ground. This tree does not rot. It's got a very high oil content in it. It's extremely dense. It grows at only 2 millimeters per year. If you look at the top, you'll be very hard pressed to find any growth rings that you can see by the eye here. And so they actually had to go underneath the water with an underwater chainsaw, which I didn't know existed, and cut these trees.
We're still not sure they exist.
Yeah.
We don't know how they got it, but we're told chainsawed somehow.
That was the part that got me really excited. Like, I want one of those. But.
Yeah. So they cut the tree out and raised it up, and we were able to get enough to build only about 20 of these guitars for the entire world. So a very special guitar, very limited. Curiously enough, it smells a bit like bananas, the wood, if you were to smell the inside of this guitar. A lot of guitar junkies like to pick up acoustics and smell the wood and what they're like, and it's a very unusual smell on this one.
I'm not going to go on camera smelling that, sorry. I did earlier, though.
Yeah.
And it's right. How much is this going for?
This guitar will sell on the street for about $6,000 in the USA.
All right, cool. Where can people go online to find out about this and your whole line?
Yeah, they can go to ColeClarkGuitars.com.
Sweet. Thanks, Lloyd. Thanks, Jamie. I'm Sean Hammond for PremierGuitar.com. Thanks for watching.